Unit 3, Relationships, Topic A, Set Primary and Foreign Keys. Access is a relational database, and the fact that we put so much emphasis on relational means that in order to derive the true power of access from what you do, you have to make sure that you get the relational part of the relational database right. In this topic, I will show you how to set the primary and foreign keys on a table, and to help you to understand what the purpose of a primary and a foreign key is. But in order to understand that, I have again opened my Northwind sample database, and I'm going to go to the Database Tools ribbon and click on a button called Relationships. And this is how I'm going to show you what a relationship is and what the difference is between a foreign key and a primary key. What you see on screen right now are all the different tables in this database represented graphically, and then you see them connected with a whole lot of different lines. As I scroll down, you get a complete picture of this, and these tables can be moved and pulled apart if you want to, and you can easily do that to see if you can understand a little bit better what is happening. I'm going to minimize the navigation pane, create a bit more space. I'm going to minimize the ribbon so that we have a good look at what's happening in here. Let's start with something that's familiar to all of us, which is the customers table. And I'm just going to pull the tables apart slightly to have you get a good view of what's happening here. Now, in any typical organization, we have customers and we have orders. Typically, any commercial enterprise sells a lot of stuff, and whatever is sold is captured in an order. And hopefully, if it's a good company and a profitable company, then one customer would buy from the organization multiple times. And what I'm showing you now is, first of all, that the table called customers has an ID field, which we noticed previously. Previously, I also told you that this ID field has a little key next to it, a little key symbol icon, and that is to indicate that this is a primary key. Now, the primary key field in any table is the way that this table, for instance, a customer, relates to another table. And in this instance, the table that it's relating to is the orders table. In the orders table, we capture a lot of detail about an order. For instance, we capture who is the customer, who is the salesperson, what is the order date, when was it shipped, what is the address, etc. And in order for us in this database to understand that a particular customer has placed many orders, there is a relationship between the customer table on its primary key to the orders table, and there you'll see a duplicate, because the customer ID that you see there is exactly the same as the customer ID that you see there, except that in this table, where customer ID is the primary key, it is the prime identifier of a customer, whereas in this table, where customer ID is not the primary key, see that order ID is the primary key for the orders table, but customer ID is related to the customers table through what is called a foreign key. So a foreign key is defined as any related key in a table that is not a primary key. So there is a relationship between the customer ID field in the orders table there and the customer ID field in the customers table, which is the primary key for customers, And that relationship means that one customer, there you see the one in the relationship line, has many orders. And you'll see the little infinity sign on that relationship or joint line, and that tells you that it is a one-to-many relationship. One customer places many orders. So the names, the technical name for this field in here is called the primary key, and for that field in there, which is a duplicate but not primary, is called a foreign key. Now, how do we set primary and foreign keys? Primary keys are easy to understand. I'm going to close the relationship window, not save any changes. I'm going back to the customers table, and I'm going to open up my home ribbon, take customer table into the design view so that you can notice that I've got a primary key called ID. Any other field can be made a primary key, but that becomes rather technical, so I'm not going to at this stage talk about multiple field primary keys, but I want you to know that it's possible for a combination of that plus another field to in combination be prime. More about that later. How do I set a foreign key? Well, the only way to set a foreign key is to actually create a relationship between one table and another. I'm going back, closing the customers table, and going back to my database tools to relationships, just to show you that if I highlight the joint line between customers and orders and I double click on it, I'm able to edit the relationship and create a joint between two tables where the one is a primary key and the other one is a foreign key. More about that later. End of topic A.